it's Mel. Welcome to my studio bedroom. I'm going to be talking about the 5 different types of stories that you can share on Snapchat, Instagram stories, and now Facebook stories, which I can't even believe there's a Facebook stories. I can't even say Facebook stories seriously just because I'm not used to it yet. Have you guys been using Facebook stories? It's cool though. I'm digging the micro content thing. There's definitely different kinds of content that you can be sharing on those stories to make people pay attention to you, but also mix it up a little bit so that we don't have to be staring up your nostrils for the entirety of your Snap story. I don't want to see your nose hairs, and I don't want to see your face for 12 frames. It's ridiculous. All right, so story type number 1 is education or inspiration. This kind of story is one that teaches your audience. It's pretty self-explanatory. Why would you have this kind of story? If you're using social media for your business, it's to help communicate your expertise and get your name out there. So educating in your stories is a really good way to establish yourself as a thought leader, an expert in your industry, and make it a little bit easier to sell once the time comes around and you need to sell a product. Story type number 2, behind the scenes. Behind the scenes, this should be not just the everyday of your life, but give us some context as to who you are and what you do and why you do it. So this kind of behind the scenes could be you're getting ready for the launch of a new program, or you're working on some client projects and you want people to see a sneak peek of what you're working on before you release it to the public. So those are just some examples of different ways that you can use behind the scenes to really let your audience kind of know that you are human and normal and your life is not this beautiful, perfectly curated, just your life is perfect. I don't know why I have a British accent now. They're really just getting a close behind the scenes of what it looks like to be in your life. All right, story type number 3 is community. Why is this important? It's because you really want your audience to feel like they're a part of something special, feel like they're a part of something unique, and that they're not alone, and that they're included. Like for me, I work at a co-working space, and so a lot of times we'll shout out our members that are doing awesome things to make them feel excited and special. And we really want them to know that they're a solid part of the community, and so we showcase them on our social media. Also, another really awesome way to build your community is to ask engaging questions so it feels like people are contributing. Maybe that's some sort of ambassador program where you've nominated certain people to really be those champions for your brand, and you trust them and you want their input because you want them to make your brand and your business better. Type of story number 4. This is selling and sharing with people what you do, making the ask, getting them off Instagram and taking them to your website, or asking them to buy a ticket. Whatever it is, if you help people, and this is what your business does, at some point in time, you're gonna have to make a sale. Before you launch into a story where you're gonna be selling something, you need to decide what your call to action is. And for the record, this should probably be the same call to action on all of your other platforms so that you're not competing with yourself. If you're on Twitter, what's the call to action? And ask it. You have to be super clear. Maybe it's swipe up and I will send you this link, or comment below and I will respond to you. Whatever it is, make sure that you have a very clear call to action that you're telling your audience to do. Every time you use these platforms, have some sort of point. Maybe it's just to communicate a fun day, but if it doesn't have a beginning, a middle, and an end, there's really not a point to it. I don't want to just see that you woke up and then you had brunch. Why? What does that mean to me? All right, so story type number 1 is education or information. Story type number 2 is behind the scenes. Story type number 3 is community. And story type number 4 is selling or marketing. This brings us to our last story type, and this is story type number 5. And this one's super easy. Story type number 5 is inspiration. You have to ask yourself, does this make my audience feel good? What is so inspiring? What's something that you want to share that has just really touched you on, maybe it's an emotional level or an empathetic level, or just something that makes you so excited, but you know that if you share this, it's going to connect with someone on a deep level. So these are the different types of stories, and I really encourage you, before you go onto Snapchat or post on Instagram stories, that you ask yourself this question: why? Why am I about to create this story? Is it because I want someone to see the behind the scenes look at the photo shoot that we're doing? Or do you want to teach something to someone? Or maybe you just have something inspirational that you want to share that you really think is going to resonate with your audience. Or maybe it's time to sell. Maybe you've got this product that you've been working so hard on and you finally have to make the ask, and you're going to drive someone off the app to go do something. We got to get creative with our stories because people don't have time and they're not paying attention, so we need to get to the point really fast. Really, behind all of this is we need to be creating content with a purpose. Don't just post to post. Post because you have something to share, because you have some reason behind it, rather than just, oh, it's Tuesday, I've got to post. No, that's not going to resonate with the person that's watching you. So those are the 5 different types of stories that you can share. If you don't know what micro marketing is, that is what Snapchat, Instagram stories, and Facebook stories is. It's short, value add content that has no fluff. There's no pretty lights. It's not fancy. It's just simple information that people are getting on the fly. So pay attention to it. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, subscribe. There will be more. Leave me a comment and let me know. I'm curious, how are you using Snapchat, Instagram stories, and Facebook stories to help build your business and build your brand? So leave them below. I will see you guys tomorrow. Let's get creative. I'm done. Subscribe, leave a comment, give me a thumbs up. I'd love to meet you, so drop me a line and I'll say hey. Bye. It's just perfectly curated to share your content with the world. All right, moving on.